He threw his own mother out of his mansion. But that single night destroyed everything he built. They say the moon refused to shine that night because Caleb's mansion had stolen all its light. The entire street glowed like day. Cars lined the road like trophies. The air filled with music, laughter, and clinking glasses. Inside the grand house, the rich and powerful gathered, dressed in luxury, the smell of wine, the flash of cameras, the sound of pride. It was everywhere. Caleb stood in the middle of it all, young, handsome, confident, wearing a sleek black designer suit that shimmered under the chandeliers. He raised his glass and said with a proud smile, "To wealth, to freedom, and to never being poor again." The crowd cheered, cameras flashed, music roared back to life. Caleb soaked in the applause like it was oxygen. But just as the laughter reached its peak, the heavy iron gate creaked open, slowly, loud enough for everyone to hear. The music stopped again. Every head turned toward the entrance. An old woman stood there, barefoot. Her wrapper was faded, her gray hair tied back neatly. Her hands trembled as she held a raffia tray filled with bananas and cola nuts. Small, humble gifts. It was his mother, Miriam, the same woman who used to sell onions in the market just to pay his school fees. The same woman who skipped meals so he could eat. She had come not to beg, not to disturb, but simply to celebrate her son's success. When Caleb saw her, his smile froze, his chest tightened. Shame burned through him like fire. He could see the eyes of his rich friends turning toward her, toward him. He felt exposed, embarrassed. "Mama," he snapped, marching toward her. "What are you doing here?" His voice was sharp. "This is not your kind of place. Look at your feet. Look at your clothes." The hall fell silent. Miriam tried to speak, her voice soft and shaky. "My son," she whispered, "I only came to thank God with you. I wanted to see you shine." But Caleb's pride was louder than love. He grabbed her by the arm and dragged her toward the door. Her slippers slipped off. The raffia tray fell. Bananas scattered. Cola nuts rolled across the marble floor. Mama, I told you to stay out of my life," he shouted, his voice echoing against the high ceiling. And with one final push, he threw her out into the cold night air. Outside the mansion gates, Miriam fell to the gravel. She sat there, her knees bleeding, her heart breaking. The mansion behind her glittered like a false god, the very house she once prayed her son would one day own. She opened her worn-out Bible and read softly through her tears, "Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long." Then she lifted her eyes to heaven and prayed, "Lord, you know I did my best. If I failed him, forgive me. But if pride has blinded him, please humble him. Not to destroy him, Lord, but to save his soul." When she was done, she wiped her tears, picked up her Bible, and walked away barefoot into the night. By morning, the world had seen it all. Someone had recorded the moment Caleb dragged his mother out of the party. The video was everywhere, on phones, on the news, on every screen. People were angry. "How can a man do that to his own mother?" they said. Even the Bible warns against this. His fame vanished overnight. Brand deals were canceled. Friends disappeared. Even those who once praised him now mocked him. He became the face of shame. Still, he tried to fix it. He went on live television, forcing tears from his eyes. "I was embarrassed," he said. "She came uninvited. She wore rags." But no one was listening anymore. His words sounded empty. His tears came too late. Then things started to happen. His cars stopped working. His staff resigned. His bank accounts were frozen. One after another, his businesses collapsed. At night, he couldn't sleep. He heard his mother's voice, soft but powerful. You rejected the one who carried you. Now life will reject you too. He started avoiding mirrors because every time he looked, he saw her reflection instead of his own. Her tired eyes, holding her Bible, whispering prayers. One night, a pastor came to visit him. "Son," he said, "God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. If you want peace, go to your mother. Ask for forgiveness. Do it before God." Caleb nodded. His heart was heavy. He arranged a service at the church. Miriam agreed to come, dressed in a simple white church garment, her Bible in hand. Before everyone, Caleb knelt. A basin of clean water was placed at his feet. "Wash her feet," said the pastor softly, "and let heaven see your repentance." Caleb picked up the basin, his hands trembling. He poured the water, but it slipped away, splashing onto the floor, refusing to touch her feet. Gasps filled the church. He tried again, but the water ran the same way, as if it had a mind of its own. Even heaven, it seemed, wasn't convinced. Miriam placed her hand gently on his head and said, "My son, there's a kind of apology that still hides pride. Until your heart bows, your knees mean nothing." Then she turned and walked away, the choir quietly singing, "Create in me a clean heart, O God." That night, the skies broke open. Thunder rolled. Rain poured down in sheets. Caleb ran outside, soaked, trembling. He fell to his knees in the same spot where his mother once fell. Lightning flashed, and in that moment, he saw it. The wooden cross that a street preacher had left by the gate weeks ago, glowing faintly in the storm, and beside it stood Miriam, her white garments shining, her Bible in hand, her face calm. "Mother!" he cried, crawling toward her through the rain. "I'm sorry, please forgive me." But she didn't move. She simply looked at him with eyes full of sorrow. Then, like mist, she faded away. Caleb collapsed into the mud, sobbing. "Lord, forgive me," he whispered. By morning, the guards found him there, cold and still, lying where his mother once fell. When the news broke, the city was silent. But Miriam didn't seek revenge. She sought redemption. She turned her son's mansion into a home for widows and orphans. The pool became a garden. The ballroom became a chapel. And on the marble wall, she had these words carved: "Honor your father and mother." Ephesians 6:2. Children prayed there. Women found comfort there. And when it rained, the light from the cross shone through the windows like hope reborn. Miriam spent her final years sitting under the same almond tree where she once wept, now smiling as children played around her. The place that witnessed her pain became the place of her peace. They say God never sleeps. He just waits. Caleb's story became a warning to everyone. Never forget the womb that carried you. Never let success make you despise the hands that once fed you. A mother's tears travel faster than wealth. Pride can build mansions, but it cannot buy peace. So, if you still have a mother, honor her now. And if you've wronged her, make peace today. Because when God writes your story, may He write mercy, not regret. If this story touched your heart, don't just watch and go. Like this video, share it with someone who still has a mother to honor. Subscribe, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss another story that speaks straight to your soul. This is Diidii Storyfire, where every story carries light and every lesson comes from the heart. Until next time, stay beautiful.